Hello friends, welcome back to A Page in the Chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and today is time for a reading vlog, but it's my magical HOPATHON reading vlog. I am coming to you on this fine Monday. It is my day off. It is the start of the magical HOPATHON. I get to vlog for the first time in ages and I am just in a fantastic mood. I had my therapy review this morning and I am no longer a depressed bitch. I am just an anxious one now and I'm just gonna take the little win. If you guys saw my TBR, which I highly recommend you go and watch so that you can kind of see where this reading vlog is going, see what this readathon is all about. I will also link Rachel's channel down in the description so you can go and see all of her magical HOPATHON content since she has created this readathon and everything. So in my TBR I said that I was going to be reading Writers and Lovers by Lily King to start with. This was going to be my park entrance prompt for the Disneyland Paris park, which is to read a book that is calling to you. However, since filming that reading vlog, I did some book shopping and I found a more fitting book. I did put it as a little like notice in the description of my TBR, but I obviously don't know how many of you have read that. So instead my park entrance prompt will be The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and that's because this is set in Disneyland, except it's called Dreamland for the purpose of this park, and I believe it's Disney World, like it's set in Florida, but it's like a corporate romance set in what is essentially Disneyland with like a grumpy CEO and woman who's offered the job of a lifetime type of romance, and it just seems perfect for this readathon. It would be perfect even if I wasn't in a romance mood because it's set in a Disney park, but I am massively in a romance mood, so I've just decided that this will have to be my Disneyland Paris park entrance prompt because how can it not be? I might still try and put Writers and Lovers in here somewhere. I don't quite know where, it depends how much reading I can get done. I don't know how this readathon's gonna go, but I'm so excited about it that I'm hoping I can like absolutely storm through some books. I will be starting with this book today. I do have at least 2 other videos that I need to film today. I'm aiming for 3, but 2 I would be happy with. Rachel is going live for her fast pass reading sprints at 6 PM tonight, so I have the whole day, but I would kind of like to get going with this book before this evening if I could. I don't want to waste any time. But yeah, that's the plan of action for today. I will be bringing you along for the whole 2 weeks of this readathon, and yeah, I hope that you enjoy. If you guys like seeing reading vlogs, you like seeing readathons and things like that, then do feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below to stay tuned for future content. I upload twice a week on a Wednesday and a Friday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. And you guys can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Page and Chapter, so you can see what I'm reading as I'm reading it and how I'm reviewing it in real time, and you don't have to keep waiting for YouTube videos. With that, I'm gonna go film now because I have plenty to do, and I'll catch up with you when it's finally time to get into some reading, which I hope is soon. Right, it is 1:30 and all the filming that I need to do today is done, so I can go into The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I opened it a little bit earlier and it has a little playlist at the beginning, which I love when books do this anyway. Do I typically go and make the playlist and listen to it? No, but it's just a fun way to find new songs. It's a fun way to, if you recognize the songs on the list, kind of like imagine them playing, like work out the vibe of the playlist. And it's just a little extra something that authors do that I find helps like make an experience really immersive, and I just really like when authors do this. But not only has she made a playlist, which I respect anyway, but she's put a Taylor Swift song on here, and she's made an effort to put like to specify that it's Taylor's version on here. So she's put White Horse, Taylor's version on here, which I have so much respect for. I don't even know if you can see that, but I just really like that she's done that, and I think I'm gonna have a good time with this book. Like, it's just, we're off to a good start. I have been a failure at vlogging today. I honestly just completely forgot that I had started this vlog. But I am 244 pages into the fine print. I'm really enjoying it. I think the romance and the connection between Rowan and Zara is just chef's kiss, like it's top tier. I'm really enjoying reading their interactions. This book also doesn't seem to be following the 80% conflict rule, and I really appreciate the effort that Lauren Asher is putting into making the structure of this romance book feel a little bit non-traditional, and she has some very non-traditional characters too, which I'm really appreciating, and they're written in a really like nice way. There's a lot of representation in this book that isn't written in a very obvious like this character is just in here for representation way, and I think the representation is handled very nicely, but I'm obviously not the person to deem whether it's written in a good way or not, but I am not noticing anything wrong with it, but I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. I was worried about the pacing of this book for a little bit when I was at like the 100-page mark. It wasn't that I wasn't enjoying it or I was finding it slow, it was more that I was looking at the fact that this is a 400-page book and thinking if it continues at this pace with this many details, then I'm going to get a little bit bored. But the pace now at the gone 200-page mark is really picked up. Like, we are into the romance now, we're into the character development of Rowan, and he is really like stepping up and he's getting rid of this whole I'm not interested in you facade, and I'm just really enjoying seeing him go after Zara, because it just didn't seem like it was going to be that kind of book at first. I'm actually just really enjoying that he's being very blunt about the fact that he likes her now, and so yeah, the pacing is not an issue for me anymore, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I will probably be sleeping at the gate because I don't think I'm going to read 150 pages to enter the park at this time of night. I would quite like to just wrap up, have an early night, have a chilled night, and not overdo myself with the reading on the first day. I've read more than 50% on the first day, so it's a win. And yeah, any reading that I get done now is a benefit, a plus, but it's not a requirement. So I'll catch up with you soon. Good morning, guys. It is day 2 of the magical hopathon. I have been reading all morning and I have finally finished The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I will be giving this 3 stars, I think. It was very enjoyable. I had a good time with it, but I think for me the pacing was just a little bit off. It was kind of quite slow, and then it really seemed to be picking up again and I was ready for it, and then it slowed down again. And Lauren Asher really tried to do like a non-traditional like points of conflict, which I like appreciated the effort, but I don't think it really helped with the pacing issues of this book. But I did really love our main characters. I did kind of understand their motivations and what drives them, and I found the epilogue to be really sweet. The first epilogue anyway. I didn't really bother too much with the second epilogue. I thought she might be pushing it a bit too far with 2 epilogues. The one thing I will say about the epilogue though is that the epilogue takes place 3 years after the events of this book, and this is going to be non-spoilery, like don't worry, there'll be no spoilers here. But yeah, the epilogue takes place 3 years after the events of this book, which I found kind of odd given that there are other books in this series. So essentially the whole premise of this book is that Rowan and his brothers are all heirs to their grandfather's like dreamland business, which is essentially Disney, and Rowan's grandfather is supposed to be like this Walt Disney type figure, an immigrant who just had this like love of drawing and has managed to build up this empire with barely any like education or money to his name. And so Rowan and his brothers are set to inherit this after their grandfather dies, except their grandfather has stated in their will that each brother will have to complete a task before they are eligible for their shares. And we know straight off the bat that Rowan's task is to go and assess the weaknesses in Dreamland and be its director for at least 6 months, bring something new to Dreamland, then he'll get his shares of the company. And we do also find out what one of Rowan's brother's tasks is, but we don't find out the third brother's task. And so it just felt a little bit weird to me to have the epilogue set 3 years in the future when we kind of know that there are other tasks that need to be completed. Like, I understand wanting to see like a wrap up of their relationship and seeing their relationship in the future and things, but I was just kind of there like, but what about the other brothers? What about the other tasks? And whilst the epilogue doesn't spoil anything, it just felt a little bit weird to like jump 3 years into the future and see everyone in the epilogue and then know that in the next book I'm jumping back. I can't work out what about it is a problem for me, and it's not necessarily a problem, but I don't know, something about it just feels a little bit weird, because I did have a moment of like, oh okay, so does the next book take place 3 years in the future? But I'm certain that it doesn't, because I'm certain that there was a time limit on the will. So I was reading the epilogue a bit like, oh well, everyone else's stories have already been resolved now because we're 3 years ahead. It's a very small thing and I'm being particularly picky about it, but it did bother me just a little bit. But all in all, I did enjoy this book. It was very fun. It was the most appropriate pick for this readathon that I could have chosen, and like I had a good time with it, so I can't complain. I'm excited to like pick up the next book whenever I get to it. So now that I have been allowed into the Disneyland Paris park, I've queued, I'm finally in. I will be going straight to the Sweet as Honey selfie spot to meet Winnie the Pooh, and that is to read a comfort book, a comforting book, and my choice for that will be Heartstopper Volume 1, so I'm almost certain that I can do my first ride before Rachel goes live tonight at 7 p.m, and then I can start my third book, which will be for a ride in Walt Disney Studios during Rachel's sprints tonight. Before I jump straight into Heartstopper, I've put on a really cute outfit today, so I would like to go and take my dog for a walk. I have 2 dogs, but I think I'm gonna take the puppy rather than the old man. It's difficult because the old man likes walks, the puppy hates walks, but the old man needs to rest and the puppy needs to get the energy out, so I don't know who I'm gonna take. We'll see which one seems more interesting. I'm gonna go for a bit of a walk. I'm feeling like kind of unmotivated and just off today. I can't work out what's wrong, but I just feel a little bit off, so I'm hoping some fresh air and some fun time with the dogs will sort me right out. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. I am downstairs making myself some lunch, but I just thought I'd let you know that I finished Heartstopper. That was the quick, easy read that I thought it would be. So I've entered Disneyland Paris Park, I have gone to the Sweet as Honey selfie spot, and I've met Winnie the Pooh, and now I'm going to be hopping on over to Walt Disney Studios to join the very long queue for Ratatouille, because Ratatouille is my main priority ride for when I'm actually in the park. And so for that I will be reading New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. I'm probably gonna start that like during the sprints though, unless I get the insane urge to read. I want to take some time, I want to game, I want to like just watch some TV. I don't just want to like read. I have given myself a very manageable TBR this time around, so I can have some fun with it. Heartstopper Volume 1, I romanticized it a little bit, I can't lie. It was still like good fun and everything, like I had a great time, but I do definitely think that the Heartstopper volumes get better as you go through them. But it was really interesting to read this time around knowing that there's a TV show coming out, because I just kept wondering, how are they gonna do the TV show? Are they gonna do like a Scott Pilgrim versus the World thing, where they like do it as a TV show but they also include like the comic references and like so much of the book? Because it's a comic strip, you get so much of what Nick and Charlie are like thinking, or like their reactions to things, or like you see Charlie's thoughts and things. So like I'm wondering, are we gonna get little bits of that in the show, or are they just gonna do like a typical like normal adaptation. I don't know, I'm so intrigued, but it's definitely a fun reread, and I love Heartstopper, don't get me wrong, but yeah, they get better. It is midnight, it is officially a new day, and I am 80 pages into New Moon. I just haven't been feeling in a huge like ready mood this evening. I mean, I finished a book this morning, and then I read Heartstopper, and then I've read 80 pages of this, so like it's been an incredibly good reading day. It just doesn't feel like it in terms of progress on this book, but I'm at the part where Bella was almost dinner and the Cullens have literally just left. We have just had the best literary event in history of the November, December, January pages. It's literally the best writing in existence. Like, no one can top single months on a page, like just no one can. So I've decided to just stop there. I'm right at the beginning of a new chapter. I'll be like ready to pick it up tomorrow. I just wanted to pop in and actually like say goodnight, because otherwise this vlog is just going to be a series of really random clips that you have no grounding for. So yes, good night, and I will see you in a couple of hours after I've slept. Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the magical hopathon. It is about 12:15 and I have done no reading this morning. I had an absolutely terrible night's sleep. I just kept having really vivid like anxiety dreams. Like, one was that I lost my necklace, another was that my boyfriend cheated on me. Like, I was just having really vivid like anxious dreams, so I haven't really slept. But I woke up this morning and I did everything productive that I needed to. Laundry's in, room is tidied, room is cleaned, most importantly. Video is edited and uploaded. Like, I'm just on top of everything now, so literally all I have to do from 12 through to when I go to bed at about midnight tonight is read New Moon and probably play some Stardew Valley, because I'm just a little bit obsessed with gaming at the moment. Do I want to start a gaming channel? Yes, I do a little bit. This section of the book, literally the Cullen family has just left. Bella has just been found in the woods and we're just about to see her be all depressed. I will say I just hate how desperate Bella becomes when Edward leaves her. It's the one thing that, like, even coming back to the books and reading the books, I find just as cringy as the movies did it. For the most part with the first book, reading the first book is a very different experience to watching the movie. It doesn't feel nearly as cringy. But yeah, the way Bella acts and just completely falls apart and like absolutely begs him to stay, it does like cringe me out a little bit, because I would just never be that kind of person. Like, if someone wants to leave, I'm not gonna let them know that I'm hurt by that. But I am very excited to start seeing her friendship with Jacob develop. It's my favorite element of the whole series, is her friendship with Jacob, and I'm a little bit upset that it had to turn into a love triangle, because they do have just such a beautiful friendship, and it's not really a proper love triangle in the books. It's much more nuanced than it is in the films. In the films it's very much like Jacob's just absolutely obsessed and in love with her, and Bella's like entertaining it and using him for her own personal gain. Whereas in the books they do actually just have a friendship, and then poor Jacob just gets a little bit confused, and Bella does still like take advantage of his friendship, but like it's just better. So I just wanted to like pop in and say good morning and give you the plans for today. I haven't done any reading, but I'll see you when I have done. I have got past the 200 page mark. I'm about halfway through this book now. I'm really kind of storming through. I know that my pace is going to drastically slow down though, which is why I wanted to start off so strong, because not only has it been like my days off that this readathon has like started on, so I'll be working this weekend. It's also my boyfriend's birthday on Sunday, and so we have plans on Sunday and Monday, and then he's home for like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so like I won't be doing as much reading. So my biggest push that I have towards this readathon has been these past 3 days. So to make it to 2.5 books, I'm pretty happy with. I'm not done reading for the day, but I am going to stop and play some Stardew Valley now, just because that's what I'm really like craving, and I feel like I need to get that out of my system now that I've hit the 200-page mark. So I'm going to play a couple hours of Stardew Valley, and then I will do some more reading of this book tonight. I'm aiming to say pick up this book again around maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. I've got to say, I'm really running out of ways to defend Bella. I have like reread this book many a time since reading it as a preteen at school, and all the times that I've reread it prior to this, I have felt like Bella and Jacob have more of a friendship than the movies kind of portray, and that Hollywood really exacerbated this whole love triangle thing. But reading this again this time around, it's like my 4th time reading it, I think, Stephanie Meyer has just turned Bella into the biggest bitch. There are so many scenes where Bella mentions the fact that she knows she's leading Jacob on, and she knows she should just tell him she's not interested, and she knows he likes her, and she's like, but I just can't ruin it for him. And I think it's a little bit that she wants to like him, that he seems like the safe option, and she really wants a life with him. She doesn't want to lose him, but it's also incredibly cruel, and it's really kind of difficult to defend Bella and defend these books almost, because there is quite an intense love triangle. Not in the sense that Bella is ever interested in Jacob though, it's not like a actual triangle, it is actually more of just an arrow in this sense, because Bella only has feelings for Edward. And so in that sense, I'm right, there isn't a love triangle, but it is a little bit unfair of Bella to encourage Jacob's affections just so that she doesn't have to feel lonely or sad anymore, and it's very problematic. There's no resolution to that in the whole series. Bella never really gets any like comeuppance for that. She's never really taught a lesson for doing that. It's just not something that's really touched on, and it's a little bit dangerous for a whole generation of teenage girls to have read this book, myself included. But I am like really enjoying it, so I can't complain too much. I don't go into these books for like solid literature, I go into them for a good time, and that is what I'm getting. It is 6:30 and I am stressed because I just feel like I've wasted so much of the day, and I haven't even really gotten to play Stardew Valley. I got to play 2 in-game days of Stardew Valley, and if you play Stardew Valley, you'll know that that's not very long at all, because then I wanted to take some Bookstagram content whilst it was still light outside, because I wanted to do it whilst I was motivated to do it, and then I remembered that I was behind on my reading journal, so I was working on that, and I have now got it up to date. I have all of March's books and reviews in, so you know that's all done, and I have done my April spread. When I decided to do a reading journal, I was going to put the books and the reviews in as I went to help me with my wrap-ups, but that hasn't ended up being how I use this. I tend to put everything in at the end of the month, which I'm kind of okay with. However, I have a record of my reading I am happy with. So for April, I've just gone with balloons, and I've snuck in a heart-shaped balloon and a Mickey-shaped balloon. The heart-shaped because it's my boyfriend's birthday, and the Mickey because it's the magical HOPATHON. I don't have it in me to colour it in right now. I've spent a good 2 hours working on this journal tonight, and I'm just happy that it's like pretty much up to date now, so I'll colour it in and stuff another day. But for now, I'm up to date, and I'm gonna go back to reading New Moon. I think I might just stop and get some dinner, because like my eyes hurt, honestly, and I'm just a little book contented out right now. I feel like I haven't really stopped working, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of time, and then I'm gonna read some more of New Moon. Good morning. It is Thursday. My days off are now over, and I have a double shift today to kick it all off, so that's fun. But it does mean that I'll probably get a decent amount of reading done at work, just because we'll have the lunch rush, but then after that calms down to Thursday. During the day it's not normally super busy, and then I'll have my break, so I can do some reading on my break, plus update you on the reading that I have done on my break. And then I doubt I'll get any reading done during the evening shift, but we can try. Whilst it's obviously not as good of a reading or vlogging day as if I had the day off, I am going to keep this vlog going whilst I'm at work. I do also have tomorrow morning off. I'm only working an evening shift tomorrow, so I can keep vlogging tomorrow, and Rachel is doing sprints tomorrow morning, I believe, so we can do one last little push before the weekend kicks in. So that is the plan of action, the POA. And now it is time for me to get a chai latte and wake myself up a little bit. Okay, so I'm on my break at work and I managed to get New Moon finished in the first shift that I had this morning. It was quiet enough that I was able to kind of read whilst I wasn't serving, and yeah, I have finished it. I'm struggling with my thoughts on this book because whilst arguably less events occur in this book, and this book has less of a plot line than the first one, I just enjoy this book more than Twilight. I think the pacing of this book is a little better. I think the writing is a little better. It is like overly disgusting in the lovey scenes, like people just don't talk to each other that way, like it's just disgusting. And I still think that Bella and Jacob are a much better fit together than Bella and Edward. Like I don't think Stephanie Meyer does a lot to convince us that Bella and Edward should be together, other than the fact that it's just a lot of very like pretty and mushy words. Like their actions together don't really convince me that they would be together, whereas the friendship that she's constructed between Bella and Jacob and the sacrifices she has them make for each other do convince me that they should be together. Although, to be honest, I just think Bella should be alone. Like, she's a fat bitch, okay? She is just leading Jacob on and she knows she's doing it. And it just bothers me, okay? So, I think really she should be alone. I think if I was to give it a rating, honestly, I'd probably give it like a 3.5 stars. Like, I had a really, really good time with this reread. And I do think that it is a lot better than Twilight. And it gets a lot of hate, but it is a good book. It's just a little mushy. Going by the plan that I set out, the next book would be Persuasion by Jane Austen, which would be my prompt for Disney's Illuminations, because I wanted to ensure that I read the prompt for Disney's Illuminations. But I'm making such good progress on this readathon, like way better progress than I ever thought that I was going to make. So I might try and add another book in, but I need to go home and like actually look at the prompt list before I can do that. I'm leaning towards maybe tackling one of the books that are the series I need to finish. Like maybe I try and put the final book in the Shades of Magic. Well, it's not the final book. I've just seen that VE Schwab has announced another Shades of Magic book. Was I the only one that thought it was a trilogy, or is it like a trilogy and then a spin-off series? I don't know, I'm really confused. But the third book in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, it's not a trilogy, series, I have that and I do need to get to that. Maybe I can try and fit that in somewhere. I could try and fit the sequel to A Bear and the Nightingale into this readathon somehow. I basically just have to go home and look at the prompts to try and figure out how to do that. But that's fine because I really don't think that there's going to be an opportunity to get any reading done tonight. Not only are like Thursday nights a really busy night for us anyway, obviously it's bank holiday tomorrow, so everyone is going to treat this like a Friday night. So yeah, I think it might be quite a busy one tonight, and I don't think I'll get any reading done anyway. So when I get home tonight, I'll have a quick look at the prompts, I will choose a book and I will let you know. But I'm so happy that I have finished this book so early. Like, I can't believe the progress we are making on this readathon, guys. Apparently that's all I needed was a readathon, and a readathon that I like genuinely care about, like the Magical Hopathon, to get me fully into reading. It's like every moment of the day now I pretty much want to be reading. It's not even obligation to a readathon, like I want to read, and that is really, 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 really fun. And I'm honestly having such a good time. So yeah, I'm excited to update you, and right now I really need to eat my lunch. Good morning, guys. We have a visitor this morning. Let's see if we can get his face. No. Anyway, I have picked up A Conjuring of Light by VE Schwab, which may be a really bad decision because this is the third book in the Shades of Magic series. I did not enjoy the second book, A Gathering of Shadows, at all, but I've heard better things about A Conjuring of Light. But if I hate this book, it is over 600 pages long. 666 pages, wow, that feels intentional. This is a really big boy. But I'm going to be so proud of myself if I read it, and I do kind of want to take this newfound reading motivation and the speed that this readathon is giving me to try and get through one of these biggest books on my TBR and on my series TBR as well, because there are some new series I would like to start and I just can't do it until I make some progress. So I have picked this up for Hyperspace Mountain, which the prompt is to read a book that takes you out of this world. This is literally a story about our main character Kel, who can travel between worlds. So there's a red London, a white London, and a grey London, and once upon a time there used to be a black London, and Kel is one of 2 people in the entire universe who can travel between the worlds using magic. And so it's a pretty fitting prompt for Space Mountain, or Hyperspace Mountain as it is in Disneyland Paris. I absolutely adore this ride. It is going to be a ride that I go on many a time whilst I am in Disneyland Paris. I just wish I had planned accordingly, because I've obviously started in Disneyland Paris, done one thing in Disneyland Paris, then hopped over to Walt Disney Studios and then hopped back to Disneyland Paris. I would have like restructured the prompts basically if I'd known I was adding this in, but I didn't. I really thought that I was even being slightly over ambitious by having the 3 books plus a potential book, so 4 books on my TBR for this readathon. Like, I thought there was no way I was going to do that in 2 weeks. So to have done it in the first 5 days, I am super proud of myself. So, you know, I'm happy. It can't be helped. And the whole point of this readathon is that you can hop back and forth between the 2 parks. You're making yourself comfortable. So that's the plan for today. There won't be much left of this vlog because I've just edited the footage and it's so long. Oh, you want some more scritches? It's very long already. So yeah, there'll probably just be the outro after this, just to let you know. So I will catch up with you for the outro. Marvin says hi whilst he sleeps. And so that is pretty much, not quite, but the end of week 1 of the Magical Hopathon. I'm gonna take a Saturday-Sunday break from vlogging and then be back again with part 2 of this vlog, again from Monday through to Friday. I think that structure is just gonna work best for me and around the plans that I have and my work schedule and things like that. So you won't see every second of the Magical Hopathon, but you will see all of the working days of it, so that's fine. I am 109 pages into A Conjuring of Light, which is part 3, Fall or Fight. I'm a little bit unsure how I feel about it. It all seems to be centered around this one central plot point, and we've been thrust right into it literally from the second the book starts. You are kind of in this like battle setting, and the actual intensity of the battle has cooled off a bit now, but I am a bit worried. Like, if the next 500 pages are the same, it's not that I won't enjoy it, I just think I'll get bored if they are all centered around this one plot point. I'm really not willing to judge it yet. Like, The Poppy War is a very long series all centered around one war and usually like one particular battle, and that works. So I'm sure VE Schwab has something up her sleeve. I still have high hopes for this book, and I still genuinely do want to keep reading it, so I'm not going to DNF it at the 100-page mark. I'm just a little bit confused about why this book is so long. Like, it's all started off like so intense from the beginning. There's been no build, so like where is it going if we're like in the explosions and stuff from the get-go? Like, what's gonna happen? I'm just intrigued, I think, more than anything else. So I am gonna do a bit more reading of this today, but it's stressing me out having this vlog unfinished when it needs to go live tonight. So I'm just going to wrap it up here because I don't think I'm going to make any like intense progress. But if you guys do want to see any updates or things on how I'm finding this book in real time, then do feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Page and Chapter, because I post every bookish thought I ever have on those platforms, so you're just going to see in real time like what's going on, so do feel free to do that. Also, if you have enjoyed seeing my Magical Hopathon blog or just my blogging in general, then do feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below to stay tuned for future content. As I said, part 2 to this vlog will be up next Friday, and I'm so excited. Yes, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do go and check out Rachel's channel for creating this Magical Hopathon, because it's been so much fun and it's kicked me out of my reading slump, so that's fantastic. I hope you guys are also having a fantastic Magical Hopathon. Let me know how you're finding it down in the comments section, and I hope you guys have a fabulous Easter weekend, and I will see you on Wednesday for my next video. Bye guys!